future skies. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I say come sisters. Come and take back your child. This great.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to GBC Women with Words. It's another Thursday, and we are here. Hope everyone
We're
is doing
back
okay.
in studio.
Yes, we're back. Back from the enjoyment. The weekend was oh my God! I tell you, these people they gang up on me. I swear. Agatha and Eva.
Well, let's talk about that at the end of the show. So
yes,
first
we're
of
gonna
all,
talk about it,
no
but we
one
had a
ganged
good
up
time.
on you.
Yeah, we had a good time. But first, before welcome everybody, we want to make sure that you share this podcast this evening. We're looking forward to this show where we feel privileged to have a mom on talking about what she's done after she lost her son, what she has done with his memory, the things she's done in his honor, how she's been able to cope. So welcome to the show. My name, of course, is Glendy Jane Jonas, and I'm here with my co-host,
Agatha Joseph.
AJBA. Y'all want to hear later. We're going to talk to you later. But thank you all for joining.
Yes.
This is our last show. Is this the last? No, the second to the last in the month of September. Yes.
Don't rush us now. I love Christmas and everything because I jump over Halloween. I don't celebrate Halloween. And I jump over Thanksgiving because I'm trying to get my life right and eat right. So I'm moving straight to Christmas. So let's finish September first, okay? Let's just finish September.
I'm telling you, can you believe that we're already in September?
Yes.
I am telling you. So welcome,
this year
folks.
Went pretty fast.
Yes, it did. It's we'll soon be in December. So welcome everybody. Let's just remind us of what we've been looking at for the month of September. It's Better Breakfast Month. I think I have tried to eat right in the morning. Some mornings I don't eat at all. I don't know if that's healthy or not. And then we have Baby Safety Month, and of course Classical Music Month. The colors for the month of September: navy blue, brown, beige, gray, and burnt orange. I hope you worn some of these colors.
I wore my burnt orange today for you.
It's very good. I think I wore navy blue the other day. Deep purple and champagne, light gray, and sage green. So those are the colors for the month of September. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna welcome our guests. I got to laugh. I speak in English. I'm talking about politician.
I've had enough. I've had enough of your Liberian people English today with the president at the UN and watching Spoon TV. So let's just keep
it looking sharp.
He was.
But anyway, we're gonna do it later for what's trending. We'll talk about that later. But let's welcome our guests to the show. Hello, Pinky.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Glenn. All right, how are you?
Yes,
welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our platform, GBC Women with Words. We're excited. I don't want to say excited, but in a way, your strength, the way you're going to come and explain where you've come from to where you are. We hope that some woman out there or somebody out there who have lost their adult child or a child as a whole will be able to gain some strength from you this evening. So the first, I want you to tell us a little bit. Believe it or not, I had a question I wanted to ask, but I said no. We want to hear a little bit about who Pinky Bemah is first, and then we'll go into the discussion.
Okay, Pinky Bemah.
Pinky Bemah Goll. I don't want Mr. Goll to come and sue me.
Hey, after 34 years of being married to him, He's
Wow.
used to that name, Pinky Bemah, because professionally, that's what everybody know me by, Pinky Bemah. Um, I have, I was born December 10th, 1964, to the late Earl Peter K. Bemah and former K. Barkley. Um, I have worked, my school, my schooling started from Liberia and then England and then the United States. I've worked for the state of New Jersey lab. I was on the team, the Anthrax team when Anthrax hit New Jersey. My husband, we got married in 1991, but we have been together from 1988.
Ooh, that long time.
You can say that again. We have 3 children. I met my husband with a son who became my son, Eldridge. He's 40 years old. He's an architectural engineer. He lives in the city of Brotherly Love. And we have a daughter. She's a scientist. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and she worked for a big laboratory there. She's a molecular biologist, scientist one. And our late son, Peter, was going to be a criminal justice lawyer. So we, growing up, when the kids were growing up, we lived in Jersey and then moved to Florida. First we lived in Ewing Township, and then we lived there for almost, I would say almost 18 years before moving to Florida in 2004. And while in Florida, the kids graduated from there. Our daughter attended FAMU University, and our son got scholarship because he was an athlete, and he chose Nebraska. So that's it for now.
Okay. All right. So that's a long time to be married. 34, being together 34 years. My goodness. I mean,
And he's
Mr.
still here.
I'm not gonna just applaud you, but hats off to Mr. Goll. Congratulations, Pinky. We're happy. We support marriages. We're happy that you all have stayed together this long. I know you're just like brother and sister now.
You can say that again. Definitely. Definitely.
All right. So you talk about your children. Congratulations. Your daughter a molecular biologist. That's amazing. And your son an architectural person. That's really the show this evening. We want to focus on Peter. And I remembered going back that day and seeing the post about your son. So I want you to take us back a minute and tell us a little bit first about Peter and how far he had come in life, and then we'll go to what happened to him.
Well, Peter was the baby in the family. And Peter he came into this world with a bomb. Because first of all, I would say 2 years before I had him, I had gone to visit a friend. And when I went to visit his friend, our Civil War has just ceased. And while sitting in her living room in Trenton, New Jersey, this pastor came to visit her. He was a refugee. I didn't know him. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, Sister Pinky?" I said, "Yes." "He's dead now." He said, "You're going to have a son. I see you with a son." I said, "Okay." Because I didn't believe in prophets. I wasn't into, my faith was not there. So I said, "Okay." And he kept looking at me. I felt uncomfortable and I left. But then 2 years later, I remember it was in September and I was working part-time in Dr. Miller's office, an allergist specialist. So that evening, because I left the state lab and went to Dr. Miller's office to work. I used to work with a lot of Caucasian. So Tammy said, something going on. Why are you having craving for pizza? I said, I don't know, but I told my husband to tell him I'm going to stop to pick up a box of pizza before going home because I'm not cooking tonight. So I picked the pizza up, went home, and my husband said, the way you like a dry rice and fried fish business. Yeah, you're talking about pizza? This is strange. I said, well, that's why I wanted to eat and bought it. I ate it and I felt so good, that craving. So, but then I noticed myself, I started sleeping a lot at my desk. And I called the doctor up. I said, I need to do some tests. And Dr. Murphy said, what kind of tests? You already work in the lab? I said, yeah, but our lab, we get positive results from all the other clinical laboratory and hospital for confirmation. So I got insurance, let's do this test. And he asked me, what you want to? I said, quantitative data. So he said, okay, come over and we'll run it. And when he did it, that's when I found out I was pregnant. That was September of 1995. So and then two months later, I got real sick. I ended up in the hospital. I was suffering from dehydration and hypoglycemia. So I was in the hospital, and then I went home with an IV because I couldn't stay there any longer since my daughter was at that time 3.5 years old, and everything was on my husband. But long story short, most of the things the late pastor Bemah told me came to pass because he said he saw this kid that was going to be on the radio, he was going to be on television and all. So into my late 8 months, I had a dream, and I told my husband, I said, don't go anywhere. He said, what? I said, I see you in a car accident, but it's strange. You are driving, and I ended up behind the wheel. I don't understand it. So he went to work. When he came from work, I had my doctor appointment. You know, coming towards the end, you have to see the doctor every week.
Yeah.
So my husband came home, and I took the car to go to the doctor, and then he stopped me. He said, I'm going with you because I have to go back to the office to do something with payroll. No problem. So on our way back from his office to go to the hospital, we ended up in a car accident. Just like I predicted, so it happened, and then there was no ambulance available. So I ended up in the back of a police car, and the officer was using his radio to call the hospital, which was Mercer Medical Center. And my contraction was like 2.5 minutes apart. And he was a rookie, and he kept begging me to not have the baby in the car. So we ended up at a hospital. Luckily, nothing happened. But my water broke in the hospital, and then he wasn't coming out. So finally, they said C-section. When I had a C-section with him, he ended up being 9 pounds and a little, I think 2 ounces. So the first thing when they took him out, he peed in the lady's face, and they decided to say, oh, he's going to be a firefighter. But moving forward, growing up, he always was under me. And he was the kid that I breastfed the longest. And I remember going through a post-traumatic, I used to cry when that boy used to grab my titties to suck. It was like, He was draining the life out of me. And that Dr. Campbell and Dr. Murphy wanted to put me on depression medication. I refused. Well, I went through it. I think he sucked my breast for 6 months
Wow.
till the doctor told me put red syrup in his milk, and that way he won't bother. He will sleep. And thank God. And that's what happened. And gradually, weaned him off it. He as at the daycare, everybody knew him. All the girls, all the boys. Prospect Heights, the little league, everybody wanted to be his friend. Whereas our daughter, she's very, very private. And he was the outgoing one. And as little as he was, every weekend, kids used to come in our yard just to, we had a pool. So he would invite them, and then used to forget to tell me that he invited these little kids into our. So he always had, and the child that always got your attention, you seem to gravitate towards them. That was him. My husband, on the other hand, our daughter used to be under him. But Peter, if I was upstairs and the downstairs in the family room, as long as he didn't see me, he would go upstairs to look for me and give me a hug and a kiss. And then he'll stay with me for a while. Then he'll run back downstairs. So that's the kind of person he was.
Yeah.
And when we moved to Florida after my husband got a job there, I had a store not too far from Disney. I had a store in Kissimmee up on 95. And we used to live in a suburb, an area called Poinciana. And then Quest Diagnostic Clinical Laboratory hired me as a lab coordinator. So at the time when we moved, Peter was in elementary and Erica was in middle school. She used to play soccer and he used to play football, flag football still. And from that, because we had gone to Walmart to do some shopping, and while coming out, we met this Coach Al, and Coach Al stopped us and he asked me how old Peter was. And I said, oh, he's only 11 years old. He said, no way. I said, yes, he is 11. And what's his height? I said, 5'7". Then the man said, oh, no, he needs to come and play for the Predators. And that team was right, it was not far from where we live. So I said, okay, I'll bring him to practice. So when we got our groceries, I took them home, and Peter was so excited. He would hurry me up, went on the field, and when we got on the field, most of the kids that were for the Predator, he knew them from school. But the parents couldn't believe my son's age. So I had to bring her birth certificate, and that's how, yeah, that's how they accepted him to play with the team. And everywhere we went, when they had away games, the coach had to carry his birth certificate because there were two kids, my son and another kid that just got shot in the head from a stray bullet in Texas.
Oh, wow.
His name, luckily for him, he survived it. His name is Kevin. I think I posted that last month. Yeah. His name is Kevin. So there was the two kids. And Kevin had a brother, a twin brother. So those two needed a birth certificate. And it was crazy how people couldn't believe it. But 11 years old, 5'7", and wearing a size 11 sneakers.
And the breast milk.
The breast milk, yeah.
Yeah, it was wild rice and fried fish.
Got that right. He got that right. And plus that he loved Kettle Tabagi.
Oh
My
Oh,
mom
wow.
had a
that is,
yeah, my mom had a
that
food
is,
shop in Trenton. Kettle
Yeah.
Tabagi was his favorite.
yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, he used to play football, traveling football, and he also used to play basketball. But
Okay.
he rather football. He didn't like basketball. He rather
Yeah.
football. He loved hitting, aggressive sports. Those are the things,
Yeah.
wrestling and things. Those were the things he loved.
Typical boy.
Yeah.
Typical
So
boy.
so,
Yeah.
and just hearing, we can just see how close you and Peter were. Very, very
Yes.
close. And we know
Very.
it's been difficult for you, just going through this, but we want you to, just for whatever, I know it's kind of hard, just tell us. You get the call about Peter. What happened?
Well, first of all, Peter decided he chose. He, like I said, he had a couple of scholarship, and I told him, I said, let's pray about it, and then you decide. And then the coach kept contacting him to find out because the first group of people that went to see Peter on the football field came from FAU. And because he was running late, he missed that scholarship. He was home playing video game Xbox because the coach told him to go and take a break and come back at 2 o'clock. But so he realized, and then the coach kept telling him he needed to make a decision because whatever scholarship he was going to not take, then they could give it to other athletes. So I told him to pray about it, and which he did, and I did too. But I couldn't understand because in my dream, I have I dream dreams, and in my dream, when I asked God where Peter was going, the spelling of that school appeared and was in Nebraska, but I kept it to myself. So when he texted me, because that kid used to text me up 20 to 25 times a day when he was in class. And sometimes I used to get so upset, like, pay attention to your classes and leave me alone.
Mhm.
So he finally texted me and told me, he said, Mom, I'm going to Nebraska. And the reason why is I'm trying to get away from all our people because most of the other schools are historical black colleges and universities. So if I go to Nebraska, there'll be it'll be 80% white over there instead of going to a black university. So I said, whatever decision you make, I hope you don't regret it. And he said, no, Mom. So I said, okay. And he told the coach, and they made the announcement, the press, everybody had that. I took him the first time to Nebraska. When I took him there, I was shocked. I was shocked. What a huge difference from Florida to Nebraska. And the fields and fields of stuff. There was nothing there. So I said, well, it's a college town. You're focused. And I don't think you guys will get into any kind of trouble.
Mhm.
But that Monday instead, even though I had a hotel to stay at, I ended up sleeping in his dorm on his bed. He slept in the corner, both of us on the bed. Most of the time, he'll kick me off because you know how those beds are they're not big enough. And because I was leaving the next day after we set him up, my, my husband was in Liberia working. He was working for a company in Liberia. So after I set him up, that night I decided to sleep with him. And Walena, her roommate, this white guy came from Miami. He was across the room looking at us. It made him homesick. He decided he was not going to stay in Nebraska. He was going back to Florida. And he said he can have the scholarship. He was going back to his family just for watching Peter and I.
Aww.
So I left and went back to Florida. I went back to Florida. The first thing I received, Mom, send me some pepper chicken. Send me some kettle. Send me some. So I said, it's only been a week you've been there. You already requesting for all this. So I had to hurriedly go, prepare that stuff, freeze it, and send it express by FedEx. So when he received it, his friends them ate it, and they were like, "Woo, Eric, your mom gotta keep sending us food, man." So during the holiday, they were on their way back, and then they had a problem. They missed their flight. He was afraid to tell me why, because he knew straight I was gonna get so mad. But come to find out later on, he told me the police had stopped them because they were all African American in the car and had them laying flat on the road in Nebraska, and they took their clothes open, went through it looking for drugs and all, and didn't find anything. And when he started to talk, they told him, "You better be quiet because we can do anything to you and get away with it." But as a praying mom, and I'm sure the other parents were wondering what was taking their son so long, when they finally got to the airport, they missed their flight. So he was afraid to call me. He called his godfather in Texas, his friend's dad, and that's how come the man purchased another ticket for him to go to Texas, and then from Texas he came home for Christmas, and I was livid. But when he came home and explained the situation, I understood. So he decided he wasn't going back to Nebraska. He wanted to be where his sister was at FAMU. When the following year, he went to FAMU. But at FAMU, he saw a lot of stuff that he wasn't happy with. The drugs, the club. So he decided he wanted to go back to Nebraska. I told him, I said, listen, if you, I don't want you to go because my heart is heavy. When God, I told him, I said, God, I don't know what's going on, but my heart is very, very heavy. And I'm not going to. As I'm letting you know that I don't know, something is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but my heart is very, very heavy. I just can't understand why. And he said, Mom, everything is going to be all right. And I'm going to do so good. You're going to be so proud of me. He said, I promise you, Mom, you'll never have to worry. Then he said, listen, since I was in Texas doing training with this coach, if the car was offered me, so what will you do? If I gave you that money, what will you do with it? I said, I would take it to the village. And he said, I knew it every time. Just like when we were kids. Instead of buying Christmas presents for us, you'll let us go and pick teams up for the people in Liberia. Yeah, the people in the villages. I said, yes, because you guys have the privilege, the opportunity, but they don't. So he said, Mom, I'm going to make you so proud of me. I said, Peter, I really don't want you to go. I said, my heart is heavy, but if this is what you want to do, let me come back to the States and we'll discuss it. I went back. I went for Erica and Peter's birthday. We had a wonderful time. Erica was I went to FAMU where she was. From there, I traveled to Texas where he was with it because I couldn't leave him in the house. If I had left him in our house in Florida, all his friends and things would be there. So he was with he was with a friend and a family, his godparents in Florida. I mean, in Texas. So I went there, and I when my son surprised me, it was Ernest McCullough that picked me up from the airport. He said, oh, I got some cable guy doing work to the house, so I want to stop to my house before taking you to your son. I said, no problem. Now I knew it was my son pulling a prank on me as usual. He took me to his place, and we were in there for 5 minutes, and someone knocked on the door. He said, please get that door because I'm busy. I went to go open the door. Here he go. My big old handsome teddy bear was at the door. I said, you told me you'll be working and you won't pick me up. So he said, Mom, I had it all set up. I had it planned. I said, oh, so we hug, we kiss. He said, can you make me some tabagi? I said, yeah, right now. And he said, I got some stuff in my refrigerator. So I went and cooked his kettle tabagi. He ate. He lied on, took a nap, and it was time for us to leave. So the next day, before we left, I took him to the barber shop. I said, I said, no, I want no dreadlocks. I took him there, had him cut his hair, clean cut. After that, they were like, oh. And he said, wow, I didn't know you were this handsome. I said, you see, no more dreadlocks. He said, yes, Mom. All that beard and stuff, I made sure the barber took care of everything. So that Friday, he took me to the movies to see Captain America. And my children know I don't do movies. I rather read a book because when they take me to a movie, I will sleep. So he said, Mom, promise me you won't sleep. I said, I promise you. He said, after the movies, I will take you to dinner. I said, okay. We watched Captain America, the two of us, and every night holding hands like he was my husband or something, because the people thought he was my husband. My son was holding my hands to make sure every night then he'll pat me so I can't sleep. But I enjoy it. So when he got up, his wallet dropped. He didn't even know I picked it up. And I said, listen, I need to use the bathroom. He said, okay. He took me there. He stood right by the door like, my God. So I went to the bathroom. When I came out, he grabbed me. He said, okay, let's go so we can eat. But then he received a call from his friend, Sam. And Sam said, you're going to do some kind of car racing stuff. I told him, I said, go ahead and go do it. When I get to the house, I'll fix something to eat. He said, you sure, Mom? I said, yeah. He said, all right, Rain checked on me. I said, yeah. So he dropped me off and he went. But we had a really good time. Just that whole 2 weeks I was there, it was just Peter and I. So I left to come to Liberia. He getting ready to travel to the university. He called me when he was in transit in Denver. So happy. And Mr. Cash, I was speaking with Mr. Cash. I said, wait now, what is he up to? And he said, you know, Eric, everywhere he go, he makes friends. Now he's at the airport, all these students around him, and his voice was so deep, like Barry White. That's how deep his voice was. So he said, he's standing there, all the college students around him, and he's the center of attraction, just talking. So I said, please call him. They called him and they gave him the phone. He said, hey, what's up, Mom? I said, Peter, listen, my heart is telling me that you shouldn't go. I said, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But my heart is so heavy. It's telling me for you to not go. He said, Mom, if you're going to start a negative thing, I'm going to unfriend you on social media. I said, okay. But then when I went to sleep, I had a dream. I had a dream that I saw my friends then planting flowers all around my house. And the black dirt, the black dirt, they were planting flowers. But then in my dream, I saw my nephew getting drowned. So I called Tracy. I said, hey, Tracy, take Kaiser to the hospital. You're the doctor, check him. Because the dream I had, and Kaiser and Peter are very close for God to show me Kaiser. So I even told Peter the dream. I said, Peter, I had a bad dream, but it was Kaiser in my dream. He said, oh, wow, that's messed up. I said, but, and then the following night, I dreamed again, there was a deep hole in front of my house. I couldn't jump over it. So I had to go get in the hole, and some man pulled me out of the hole. And then the old people here said, that wasn't a good dream. But I still couldn't understand what God was trying to show to me. Mm-hmm. So that evening I came from the farm, and I was sitting on my porch. I was sitting on my porch right in this house, and I saw a silver-like casket rolling into my house. My eyes were open. I was not sleeping. Wow. I saw a silver casket with gold trim coming into my house. I kept saying, God, what is it you're trying to show me? What is it? And I couldn't understand it. So I left. I picked up Duke Dennis, the radio host for Radio Morovia, because he knew about, in 2007, 2008, I started a foundation called Adopt a Village for Christmas. That every Christmas, we used to go to the various counties and counties to the most remote area and feed the children for Christmas. So Duke said he was going with me on the farm because I had discovered a malnourished family, and he wanted to interview them. And there was a director, a Nigerian movie director called Sunshine. So he went with us we prayed that morning, but the whole time I was on the island, my heart was heavy. I was walking around looking at the people planting the pineapple and all. I was not happy. I was crying. I just couldn't figure out what was going on. So towards the evening, two of the workers asked me for a ride, and I gave them, I told them, okay, and we got into the car. When we got into the car, I started driving. When I reached around R.C. Lawson area, I received a phone call. I said, 308? That's Nebraska. Did Peter get hurt? Did he get injured? I said, let me pick up the phone. When I answered the phone, all I heard the president saying, "Is this Pinky?" I said, yes. He said, I'm so sorry to tell you, Eric just died.
Jesus. What? Jesus.
I threw the phone out the window.
Oh my God.
I took the car and I was going to, I'll hit the guardrail to go over the bridge. And I could hear the two men in the back of the car that were giving ride to screaming, please don't kill me. Please don't kill us. So that's when I realized someone was in the car with me.
Wow.
And I turned the car away from the guardrail and I started driving in the opposite lane like a crazy woman.
Jesus.
And my husband was inside now. I ran to my brother-in-law's house. Philip Parker got out of the car and just started screaming.
Oh my God.
Just started screaming. Philip Parker said, Pinky, what's wrong? What's wrong? I couldn't talk. The two guys I gave ride to were the one that told him, said, The woman just received a call to say her
Oh,
son
so
died.
sorry.
So Philip said, what? But I just spoke to the boy. How can that be? So Philip had to call Eric. He had to call Eric to let Eric know. With me, I took my computer and started calling him a messenger. But it would just ring. It would just ring. It would just ring. And they would cut off. And then when I went on social media, CBS, ABC, NBC, ESPN, all of them had my son picture. They had my son picture.
So sorry. So sorry.
I was like, I said, no. I said, no, it can't be. I even wrote one of the newscasters. I told her to stop lying. Don't do this to her mother. You can't do this to her mother. How can you post something like this when the family don't even know?
Oh.
It was like, I didn't even go on her page because it was right there on Google. It was on Chrome, everywhere. Then they started speculating if he died from drugs or so forth. Because I knew my son was not doing drugs. I knew he wasn't. But a mother can never know because his the pathologist said they're going to do an autopsy to find out the cause of death. They didn't even give us the opportunity to tell them to go ahead.
Oh my God.
They just did what they had to do. After 3 days to a week, that's when they released it. They said that there was no drug in his system. They found that he died from enlarged heart. He had a massive heart attack.
Wow.
On the football field. My husband was a basketball kid. He couldn't do anything. He traveled, rainy season, traveling from Sando, it's not easy. He traveled in the dark. He said at one time he was all a breach. He didn't even know if it was a breach or the water because of the flood. But it was God that brought him through. And I remember when he came that night, while he was sleeping, I decided to get up and go, just walk out of the fence and go on the road so God could carry me.
Oh.
When he realized what I was doing, he woke up and stopped it from happening.
Oh my goodness.
So I had to be strong for him. I had to make the worst call to our daughter because she didn't know she was at work, and you can't have your phone in the place. So she had no idea because she hadn't gone on social media, and she noticed that I had called her over 20 times. When she finally got her phone, and she called me back to find out what was wrong. And I told her Peter had just passed. She said, "What do you mean?" She started screaming. What do you mean, Mommy? She said, no. She started screaming. From there, she stopped eating. She stopped eating. So I had to, me and Eugene Freeman, Dr. Eugene Freeman, Mama Lou Freeman, he's related to my husband. His brother, he and I had to plan the entire funeral because my husband couldn't.
Wow.
had to plan everything past the couch. After that, the casket that I got for him in Nebraska, I didn't even know that I saw it in Texas. And that was the same casket that I saw coming in my house that day
Wow.
when I was sitting on the porch. The same silver
Wow.
with gold trim.
So
So
sorry.
so after it took us a week to bear our child,
Mm.
we flew to Texas. My Our daughter flew to Texas and my family, and I must give dollars forward, and I even forgot what era we were, but I must give them credit for having a state funeral for my son.
Hmm.
Um, the whole the whole of that era, they block all the streets. They block it. Police escort because my son used to also train the high school students at Brock defensive play and stuff. So the students from that year in the on the football field, they had his initial Eric K. Goll. The helmets had it. They
Wow.
Because of what Peter did with them, they won the championship. So after we buried Peter, Erica left first, and we had to get all his stuff so we could take it home. I had to drive his truck,
Hmm.
his SUV. I had to drive it because my husband was not. That's why I said women are strong. God
Yes.
made us the stronger species because
Yeah.
my husband couldn't do anything. I I had
Yes.
to drive either truck. And as I was driving, I was crying. At one time, this lady that used to help me with the children, she was in the car and she said, "My son had he came to her and said to her, uh, to tell me that he's okay." But the thing about it is, the night 4 nights after he died, he came in my dream and he said, "Hey, mom." I said, "What, Peter?" He said, "Heaven is not so bad." And he
Oh.
started singing, "Redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, his
Hmm.
Mm.
child forever I am." On the football field in Nebraska, when they did his memorial service with white candles all around, that was the exact song the school
Hmm.
sang.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was a
Wow.
confirmation.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Wh-
Wow.
When we were driving, when I was driving from Texas to Florida, my brother Kenneth Bemah was in the car with me, my husband, and the lady. And once we dropped her off and got to our house in Florida, Eric and Kenneth decided to go to Walmart, which is like 30 minutes from what we in the suburb is Walmart 30 minutes from where we lived. So when they went, because no groceries were in the house, and the house was locked up, we're living in Liberia.
Hmm.
Um, I decided to go and bathe. I sat in the tub, and when I sat in the tub, closed my eyes, crying, the devil came to me and said, "It will be so easy if you
Hmm.
slit your wrist.
Oh
It will
wow.
go down the drain. There will be no mess, and you'll be with Peter." So I took the knife. I took the knife from the kitchen and I went there and I closed my eyes to slit my wrist.
Hmm.
But then I heard a voice saying to me that if you did that to yourself, where Peter is, you will never see him because he's with me in heaven. I took that knife and I went and put it under the mattress so my husband couldn't see it. I bathed and then I went back in the room to lay down.
Wow.
And when Kenneth left and my husband left, I stayed in that house for almost a year, not working, just fasting, praying, talking to God. Some days I would curse him. Some days I would be so angry at him. And I remember forming a prayer line with Councilor Verdia and some other people used to get on and would pray together. But something one day, while before we got on that line, I was sitting in the house so upset with God. And I said to him, you took my son from me to get my attention. What is it you want from me, Lord? And I went to sleep. When I went to sleep, in my dream, I heard a voice saying, feed my people, serve my people. So I woke up and I said to Eric, I said, listen, we need to sell this house because I can no longer live in this house. If I stay in this house, the house will make me crazy. And I said, Peter truck, I have to give it to his friend that he was very close to. I told him, I said, I cannot take anything. His room, I didn't even go in his room. Eric said, do what you have to do. I said, because God wants me he wants me to do something. I don't know what it is, but the Holy Spirit said I should feed his people and serve his people. So he said, anything you do, I support you. I said, okay. And then I was on the phone with Councilor Verdi, and I said to him, I said, I don't know. I'm sitting in my family room. And it's far from my front door, but I see Jesus knocking on my front door. Then Councilor Verdi said, hang up the phone and talk to him. Invite him into your home. So I did. I invited him into my home. I was sitting right in my family room. I just saw this man come in his white robe, go into my son's room, which I hadn't gone in at all. And then he came from there and just walked around. So I went in my bedroom to lay down. I always kept the YouTube gospel music on because that's the only thing that gave me strength, listening to the Bible and the gospel music. So while I lay down, I saw this man at the foot of my bed. But then I went to sleep. When I went to sleep, in my dream, it was like I had gone to Burger King. And when I went to buy some stuff, and my total came to 5 something. So I took her $8 from in my bag. I put $2 back, and the $6, I put a $5 in the machine. When I was about to put $1 in the machine, my son's face was on the dollar bill. I said, well, how can Peter's face be on the dollar bill? But I put it in the machine. And the change that came out, it was 6 numbers. I texted those 6 numbers to my daughter and went back to sleep. So she woke me, the next morning she woke up and called me and she said, Mom, what are those numbers? I explained it to her. She said, okay. And then I was talking about it to my prayer people, the team I had. Then Pastor Verdi said, give me that number. I gave it to him. He must have went to play, but I didn't. If something kept telling me to go and play the numbers. So at the time, it was like 9 something. By the time I got from my house to go to the 7-Eleven to play, it was 10 o'clock. The lady said I was late. I came back, took the picture, and posted it on Facebook and wrote a story about it. So the next day, I saw all the missed call from Councilor Vernon. When I answered it, he said, "My Pinky, did you play?" I said, "No." He said, "I changed 3 of the numbers. The numbers that I didn't change, I got money. And if you have played, you're going to get 240 million."
Jesus.
I'm like, what are
Wow.
you talking about? He said, "Those numbers." I said, "But, Councilor, in my dream, this man, before I got those numbers, this man was offering me all this wealth. And I kept fighting it and saying, I choose Jesus. I choose Jesus." Because
Okay.
this man told me my generation upon generation would never, never, never go broke. And kept
Yes.
saying, "I choose Jesus. I choose Jesus." So I said to him, I said, that was a reason for me not to play those numbers. Because you
Yeah.
telling me 240 million. I said, that's why God made it. I got over there late. Because
Yes.
that money, it wasn't for me. Because from what I encountered in my dream, and I kept telling this strange man that I choose Jesus. I didn't want his wealth. I wanted
Yeah.
God. So he said, "Oh, by the 3 numbers, he got his money, and which was fine." And then I noticed in sequence 3 different times after nobody won that lotto. And then it happened again, and it happened again. Finally, the number finally when it happened the third time somebody won it, I said, "Thank you, Jesus." God, I never
Out of your
played.
hands. Yeah. So
I
I
never
so
played.
so I have some pictures here that I wanted you. I mean, we've this it's heart-wrenching what your family has been through. I mean, to have your son, and not only that, what is even more traumatic is for someone to. I went through the same thing before, where we are going to take my mother-in-law to the doctor, and the doctor just said to us, the woman is sitting there, she doesn't know anything about cancer. We go to the doctor thinking that we didn't want to tell her, and we go to the doctor, and what the doctor say, "Oh yes, your children brought you here so I can just tell you that you have cancer." And so when I'm hearing
Wow.
you say
No
that the
empathy.
president just call you and say your son is dead,
Yeah.
I can see how difficult
Yeah.
it would have it was for you, for your
Yeah.
daughter, and for your husband.
Yeah.
But I followed you and I see some things that you've done. I mean, it's been almost an hour. And of course, her family lives in
Nigeria.
Liberia. The time difference is a lot, and she is a busy woman. But
Mm.
I took this picture here with the
Mm.
kids, and I know you've been doing some work with them. There's also this that I want you to talk about, the Bemah's Village in memory of Eric Goll. But I want you to specifically talk about what you've been able to do. Peter Skits. Tell us about Peter Skits, because
Well,
that is exactly about his memory and what you've done.
since Peter died, they Adamo Village for Christmas has been changed to Feeding Peter's Kids. And when the Holy Spirit told me, "Feed my people, serve my people," that's exactly what I did. The community in Florida gathered around me, gave me a lot of used clothes, toys, bikes, shoes, everything. I brought it and shared it with the people in Cape May County, Monserrate County, Grand Bassa County, and Boone County. And every month since Peter died, we have been feeding Peter's kids. We have fed over 90,000
Wow.
per family. And we also We also the old people, because in the villages and things, the older folks stays in the town when the children go on the farm.
Mm.
So usually I'll buy 20 bags of rice and take 5 of it and share it with the old folks and buy meat and things, because when the children go on the farm, the children don't get back till around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. And that's when they bring food for them to eat. So the little rice I gave them, they cook half cup and it will be able to sustain it. If not, they have to go deep cassava or wire yam. We have also put up a lot of hand pumps in towns and villages. We have also been able to do immunization for the children in villages. We have constructed about 3 roads connectivity for the people, because instead of them walking 2 hours to get to the market, not the motorbikes and things, easy access, 10, 15 minutes from their place to the market. We have been able, we built a church. We about to finish the reading room. We put in the doors and windows. If it wasn't for the power saw men, then I have eaten the money, because 3 different times we have given money for them to saw planks so we can finish the project. Now, just most recently, like on Monday, I had to give money again, because for our people, instead of them traveling far, I have a market ground now. The sawing planks to finish that market ground, to finish the reading room, which consists of 1, 2, 3 rooms, 3 big rooms, because the people in Florida gave me 6,000 books. The church with the school is almost finished from kindergarten to 6th grade.
Yeah.
And the church, Jerusalem Chapel, was the Holy Spirit that gave me that name. It's almost done. So even though Christmas time I get a lot of donors, but monthly I will say only 5 people. Charles Etta, Allen, Tracy Smith, and Corey Thomas, and 2 other person faithfully. So 90,000 people we have helped.
Wow.
And we still it's still go. We've been able to pay tuitions for students that parents finding it difficult to keep their children in school. What little we have, we give. Right now, I have 15 students. Some of them only asking for $25. Some of them, the most, 150.
Yeah. So
So
let me go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I'm just grateful because Peter lives on through these children.
Yes.
He loved people. He loved smiling. He loved helping, because he used to volunteer in the soup kitchen in Texas to feed the homeless. He used to go to the football field and help those children that want to learn about defense and stuff. So when I'm doing this stuff, all I can think of are him smiling down at me.
Yes.
And saying, "That's my mom."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you. Your strength is revealed in all of the things that you've been able to do.
Yes.
I just want to say we thank you for giving us the opportunity, and we hope that someone hearing what you've done, the places that you've been, the difficult road that you've traveled with hearing having your son leave you all suddenly, and how you've been able to garner your strength to do something to help over 90,000 people. We'll say to those of you watching, if you want to support Peter's Kids, please connect with us. We will definitely channel all of your support to Pinky. Pinky, we appreciate what you've done. We're sending you hugs to
Yes.
you, your daughter, your entire family. It is not easy to lose a child. And we thank God. We thank God for you and for the faith that you
I'm
have.
thankful.
Yes. So
I'm
we want to
thankful
wish you,
too.
we wish you all the best in all of the endeavors that you're doing. We will continue to share the flyer for Peter's Kids. We will see what we can do as an organization, as a group, to be supportive of your initiative. But we're saying you are one strong woman, and we thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here today. Agatha.
I was just reading someone's post that says, how you turn pain to greatness. And that's
Yes.
exactly what you've done. Your son
Yes.
continues to live within you and in the work that you do and the children that you love on and support. I cannot tell you how deeply sorry I am for your loss, but how grateful I am for your strength to come here and share your story with us. I wish you all the best. And as Glendy said, we continue to just pray for you and send you virtual hugs. Continue doing what you're doing. Your son is extremely proud of you. I know as you are of him.
Thank you. And
Uh,
Glendy, the book that I wrote, Letters to Peter, it has helped a lot of people. And the psychiatrists are using it. They are using that book now in a couple of doctors' offices
all right.
because of the stages of grief for someone to go through. So,
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll make sure we download it. I thought I had it here, but I don't think I have it. Is this it? No. But what I'll do is
oh,
we'll
that
download.
one, Willa Tales talk about
Mhm.
Forest Tale. Your
Okay.
experience that, yeah. Well, I mean forest. It's called Forest Tale. Your experience in the villages and things I
Yeah.
encountered there.
Yes. So we'll
So,
download that book,
but
Letters to Peter, and share it, and
let
we'll
us
read it
to
also.
Peter. Let us to Peter. I know for a fact that there was a guy that called me that almost committed suicide, and I had a Liberian man about losing his son, and
Yes.
I had to help him. So
Thank
many
you.
of us are so many of us are hurting
Yes.
silently
Yes.
because we are too
Yes.
afraid to let others know what we are going through.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. So our please extend our greetings to your husband. Thank you for taking up the time to
Yes.
do this. Thank you for dedicating your life. I see this woman cooking. I see her stirring pot. I see her with a lapa. I see her sitting down by the fire out in the village. Thank you. I know you are a source of strength to those
Yes.
villagers. Thank you, Pinky, for
Thank you
doing this
so
today.
much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And have a
Thank
good
you.
night, okay?
You too. It's raining here like crazy. That's why
Oh,
I keep coming closer because of the rain.
okay. All right.
Well,
Be
thank you
safe.
All
so
right.
Thank
Good
much.
you.
night.
All right. Bye bye.
What an amazing woman. I don't know how she does it. Well, I guess I do know. Her faith carries her and she's focusing on others and not on herself.
Yes.
That's truly amazing. That I'm speechless and I'm rarely speechless. I am just in awe of her strength.
Yes.
No parent should bury their child. No parent, none whatsoever. But truly, God has a purpose for that family. And as you can see, the work that she's doing, she is listening, and she's working.
Yes.
So
Amazing, amazing woman,
yeah.
amazing work that she's done. Um, we're gonna just end here for tonight, unless we want to talk a little. I mean, we'll continue to share her story. We'll post the
Yep.
books. If you watch this show this evening, and like she said, so many of us are hurting inside. So many of us are grieving. And if you've lost someone and you're still having difficulties with gaining your footing, connect with us or connect with Pinky. We had Pinky on. We also had Samantha Carter on, who
Yeah.
lost her daughter and was able to talk to us about it. So we want to encourage you all. Um, don't hurt in silence, you know. I wrote a short quote that fear stains but peace cleans. So
Mm.
it's like, if you're hurting inside, let somebody know. Talk about it. There's so many people around that can help you in whatever situation you're going
Yeah.
through. We will next week. We're still what you'll be surprised as to who our guest is next week. We'll share it through the week. We're not gonna share it now. We'll share it through the week. We want to keep it as a secret yet. So next week
A
you'll know what our
secret,
guest
really?
is.
That's what
Yeah,
we're doing now. We're being secretive.
yeah, really. Because we need serious commitment first. We need the reason is we need to be able to validate the confirmation for the guest. So that
Got you.
is why. We had a guest
Yeah.
that we were anticipating would have come, but they have something else they've canceled. And so we'll be here and we're gonna have somebody, so you'll get to know. And so as we close, we had a good time last weekend. A
Yes, we
really,
did.
really good time. Awesome time. It took us a long time to get to where we are, but when you have a hard-headed woman like Agatha and Glenda together, two hard-headed people, huh?
Hey, I don't like
Huh?
that word, hard-headed. We're
What you want me to say?
persuasive.
Persuasive
Persuasive.
women,
There
yes.
you go.
Strong, persuasive, assertive women.
There you go.
We
Those
made
are
it
good.
happen, and of course, our two sidekicks, Michael and Eva. Oh my goodness!
It was such a pleasure. For those of you who don't know, it was my first time meeting both Eva and Michael in person. So it
Yes.
was an absolute pleasure. And I want to thank Michael for not getting mad at me, because y'all know I was giving him the business. Dude is short. I didn't realize it was that short. Anyway, and so is Inta Beauty. She's even more beautiful in person.
Yeah,
But
we had a good
we had
time.
a great time, good
Mhm.
laugh. Thanks to Nadina.
Yes. Thanks to Nadi. Thanks to Nadi. Everywhere we go, we're taking Nadi with us. We're not gonna listen. We acquire some some serious accomplices members. So Nadi is going with us. Will
Yeah.
Baco. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will Baco.
Yes.
Will Baco is coming with us. Who else is
Jackie
coming?
Robinson.
Jackie Robinson is coming with us.
We
and
met
Fatu
Fatu.
Soni.
Yes.
Fatu is coming with us. We had a good time. I mean, we laughed. I'm telling you, Agatha, we laughed until about 1 a.m. I
It was
couldn't laugh
later than that.
anymore. I couldn't talk anymore because I had serious migraine from the laughter.
Don't lie on the laughing. It was the alcohol.
But let me tell you, this Agatha woman is a BA. You hear me? This woman is she is a diva when it comes to partying.
No.
I don't really want to say what I really want to say.
Yeah, please don't. I don't know what you want to say, but I'm not sure if I want you to say it.
But when Agatha is around and even if you have two persons there, honey, you're gonna enjoy it. And not only
even if
that,
it's just me, it's a party.
yes. But also, we also want to compliment Mark and Randall. The food on Saturday we ate.
Let me tell you. Can I explain that food to y'all?
Please explain the food. Please explain Mark and food
to y'all. So what had happened was, someone told us that this lady cooks on Saturday in the Maryland area. I've been hearing about her for some time, so we decided we're going to pay her a visit. And this woman opens up her home.
Yes.
If you are ever in the Maryland area. Let me tell you, that dumba and soup. I'm not a big dumba person, but I tasted a little bit of that.
It
That
was
soup
good.
was to die for. It had everything in it. What you call it? All the yama yama and the
Oh,
benesi and
the
the
yama
og and the
yama. It had,
bitter.
I'm
It was
from
good.
Gaza County. It had a doo. There is no
Okay,
Gaza person that can eat doma without lime. I
that
said
thing was
lemon. I
so
said
good.
lime.
It was good. It was
It was good.
amazing. Then I
Yes.
had the fried fish and dry rice.
Yes.
And she I want to think that she did this just for me, but I know she didn't. There was a little side thing of fried pepper. Listen, y'all, let me tell you something. I tore that up.
Yes.
And then as we were about to leave, lady had a whole pot of palm butter on the back.
Yes.
A copado. Let me tell you, a copado can cook on. You know it cooks different. That
Cold
open
pot. I
fire.
can eat my palm. That's how I bought.
Jeez Louise. Anyway, Markin, thank you so much for your
Yes.
hospitality. The food was amazing.
And even
we had a
before we
blast.
got there, we had some, you know us. We're not gonna just say, "Oh, we want our food this way." We had some special orders
That is
that
correct.
she accomplished, that she took care of us. We wanted it to taste a certain way, and she made sure it tasted that way.
He
So
was
we had a
very
good time.
accommodating. Yes.
Maisie, it is in the place is in. She's in Germantown. Mark
Yes.
and
And
Randall,
then
she's on Facebook. She's in Germantown. The food is good. The dry
yes.
rice.
Listen, that soup, that specialty soup. So we went to another place where we did the show that evening, Norton Liberty, which is owned by my friend Ben Urich. And it's a bar and restaurant, really chill if you want to go there. They have amazing
Really
drinks.
nice. Really nice.
Order the fried chicken, the wings.
Woo.
They had like 8 different sauces, but that sweet and spicy one was my favorite. Anyway, the soup that we brought from Markin's house, Paul, the general manager of Norton Liberty, tore that soup up.
Not
Called
of African descent.
Called me the next day. Yo, Agatha, that's how good that soup was. It was good for us Liberians. It was good for the American people. And I took
but
a little bit.
Don't forget, we did have a signature drink made in our honor. Talk about it.
We did. Triple W. Now it's made, the liquor in it is scotch. If you like scotch, you will love it. You don't really taste the scotch in it because it's blended with grapefruit and something else. But everybody you saw drinking, that's exactly what they were drinking. It may have been virgin.
She had the virgin.
Quite a few people had virgin, but us boozers had the real deal. And it was really, really good. And I want to say to Lord Blake Carrington, the DCEO himself, Bemah Blake, he had me take a shot for him. So I took a shot of Remy Martin for him, our first guest.
Yes.
But it was a good time. And I'm so glad and grateful that we were able to connect physically and continue to do this show and just highlight social issues in Liberia with Liberians and things that are absolutely going well with our Liberian people.
Yes.
So it was a good
we'll
time.
see you on next week. We will do everything else that we normally do next week. But today, this show was dedicated to Pinky Bemah and her story and how she's gained her strength from the loss of her child.
Someone said we're on tour.
Yeah, you want to continue to follow us. We're on every Thursday. Don't forget, Yama Yama is where Eva works. She works in the Yama Yama department. So she will be at work tomorrow, full swing. By the crack of dawn, she will be on it working. Tomorrow is Yama Yama Friday. We are every year we're gonna gather, so don't be left out. I'm telling you, we had a good time. And some people, they go there, they don't take pictures, but then at the end they be expecting to see pictures.
Some of us like to be in the moment. Don't nobody got time for pictures.
They don't want to take pictures, but then they'll be asking me the next morning, can you send those pictures you took? Like, you had camera too.
We want to be in the moment. In the moment.
So thank
I
you,
wanted to
Agatha.
be
Thank
one
you,
with my
Michael.
dry rice.
Yes. Thank you, Agatha, Michael, and Eva. We had a blast.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We'll continue to do this. Until next time, folks, we'll see you on Thursday. So be
7
safe
p.m.
and please do not forget to be on the page tomorrow for Yama Yama. Let's reach 7,000 tomorrow, please. Let's reach 7,000. Go invite people. Don't be selfish. We got to share good things. You know what I mean? Y'all have a
I
good
know what you
night.
mean, brother.